Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rivlin Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel and surrounds every Monday to Thursday. Where can you find us, you ask? Well, I will tell you. We're on our Facebook page at Lottel Site. And while you're there, please give us a like or a follow and share our content. We really appreciate it when you do. Or follow us on our channel on YouTube at the Israel Brief, and you do this by clicking on the subscribe button. But let's get to those top stories and the man whose task nobody wanted, but it's left up to him because, hey, he's the president and he's done this now for the 5th time in his 7-year tenure, which comes to an end on the 9th of July. President Rivlin earlier today tapped Prime Minister Netanyahu with the task of forming the next coalition. Now, no candidate had a clear majority. There was 52 in favor of the Prime Minister, 45 in favor of Yair Lapid, 7 in favor of Yamina's Naftali Bennett, and 16 did not endorse anyone. The president, in a statement that was released earlier today, said that it was a very, very difficult moral choice for him, given that the prime minister is facing bribery and corruption charges and is currently on trial. However, he said that Israel's law does allow for a sitting prime minister who is facing criminal charges to be allowed the opportunity to form a government, and he is acting within the law. He also went on to stress that he really hopes that we don't get to a situation where Israel goes to a 5th set of elections. Today also marked day 2 in the corruption and bribery trial for the Prime Minister Netanyahu, and one of the key witnesses who sat in and gave testimony for the prosecution yesterday has testified that he has received threats following yesterday's testimony. The central charges revolve around Case 4000, which includes charges of alleged bribery and corruption in the media. And along with Prime Minister Netanyahu, at the center of this is also Shaul Elovich of Walla News, who is accused of allowing or enforcing positive coverage of the Prime Minister and his wife in exchange for positive legislation with regards to Bezeq Telecoms, which he ran at the time. And this is the 2nd day in a row that testimony for Walla has been on the witness stand. And our final story takes us to our few days before Yom Hashoa. Tomorrow night, Israel will start to observe Yom Hashoa, which is Holocaust Martyrs and Heroes Memorial Day. It is a day different to International Holocaust Memorial Day because it is the day that Israel allocates in commemoration of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising to remember and commemorate specifically the Jewish victims of the Holocaust. Now, Israel's Statistics Bureau released some statistics earlier today, and it has been noted that since January 2020, Israel's Holocaust survivors now stand at 120,000, significantly lower by at least 12,000 than this time last year. Included in this number are survivors from North Africa. Now, yesterday something quite phenomenal and special happened, and it really moved me to tears. During this time of the year, the March of the Living normally happens in Poland, where marchers gather at the Auschwitz death camp, and they walk those several kilometers from Auschwitz to Birkenau to commemorate the march that many took to their death those years ago. We can't forget that over 1 million people were murdered at Auschwitz death camp, the majority of them Jews. But something significant has happened in their commemoration ceremony, which due to the global pandemic will take place online. March of the Living organizers have allowed for organizations, individuals, NGOs to post their messages of remembrance and commemoration. What really has moved many of us were the dozens of messages coming in from the Arab world, including countries like Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, but also Egypt and Saudi Arabia. This is the first time that we've seen anything of this like happen in our history, and it really has moved many of us to tears. And it's made many of us also think that for the 6 million of our families, people of our communities who were wiped out, they most certainly did not die in vain if their memories can bring about peace between peoples who we never thought would be possible. And to make peace in their name and in their memory is something really special. Lay of the Land will be giving Holocaust Memorial Day coverage from tomorrow night and through Thursday. So please don't forget to check out our Facebook page to see the information being posted there. Those are your top stories making headlines today, but you can check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. There's an article by Dave Kaplan called Tea in Tel Aviv. It's all about how life is returning back to normal for Israelis following the successful rollout of the vaccine. It will also be up on our Facebook page, and like it, follow it, share it with your friends, and invite your friends to be part of our Lay of the Land community. Don't forget that YouTube channel at the Israel Brief, and also our Twitter page at Lay of the Land 5. So with today's edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rivlin Marks bringing you the top stories, and we'll chat again tomorrow.